Will I fit in this dress if I spend the next 90 days working on my mental health? Welcome to week 2 of finding out if working on my mental health alone can help me fit back into my pre-baby dress. This week, I identified that one of my key triggers absolutely is stress. And I've been very stressed this week. And for those of you who followed me on my Instagram stories for my behind the scenes, and thank you for people who shared in some tips. So I put up a few things I was struggling with on the weekend, and some lovely ladies hit reply with some coping strategies that they suggested that I use. And I really appreciated that because, women supporting women, it's just really cool. And I'm very grateful. So while I'm on this kind of, okay, I can identify that it's stress. So for an example, one of the things that I was really stressed about is that we were running late to a 5-year-old birthday party. And the thought of being late was sending me into an absolute frenzy. And my husband literally had to sit me down and say, Lisa, you're not running late to your own wedding. It's a birthday party in a playground. There is no time constraints either. So, you kind of need to relax because this level of stress that you're bringing in, and obviously the whole family feed off my energy, it's not helpful. And of course, I think the party started at about 1 or 2 o'clock. And I hadn't eaten anything up until that point because I was rushing with swimming lessons and chores. So I knew then that the way I was going to decompress was to probably get to this party and just like, where's the snacks table at? I am consuming things. And so to be able to stop and identify and realize, first of all, that the core emotion was what I was feeling was stress. Well, I suppose that's key. And then you need, well, what do I do once I know it? Because sometimes, I practice deep breathing and sometimes that might work and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm so stressed. I'm almost thriving in it. Like, no, if I let go of this stress, then nothing will get done. I use it as a false sense of belief to keep me safe or something. So it's trying to find, right, if I have a goal to become less stressed, how do I then action and have accountability for that? And so that got me thinking that over the next few weeks, while I set my foundations last week, which are absolutely going strong, still meditating every day, still adding a health item to my food, and still for a walk, for the most part by myself. Sometimes I have to take the dog or one of the boys, but for the most part, I am still managing to get out for a walk by myself. So that's really lovely. And those foundations, that's exactly what they are. They are my non-negotiables. We even got invited last minute impromptu to the tennis on Friday, and it was food trucks. So the options weren't great. And I was hungry, but I knew my non-negotiable was to add a health item to every meal. And my husband brought back some chips. And I was like, okay, this is okay, making an exception. We're at the tennis. And then I went and found this little Mexican stand and they had tubs of guacamole with, it was like avocado and tomato and onion. So I got a little tub of that, just a little side of it, and had it with my chips. And I was like, this is perfect. I'm not breaking my non-negotiables. Previously, I would have had the chips and just not thought about adding anything in. And it wasn't really anything to do with the avocado that I added in the grand scheme of things. It was me knowing that I didn't break my non-negotiables. I was so proud of myself that I was like, I can have the chips, nothing's getting taken out, but I'm bringing in a side of health. I need the tomato, I need the avo, I need the lime, I needed that freshness. And it was perfect. Super random, but it was a delicious mix actually in the end. So moving forward and building on my foundations, they will continue. They're my non-negotiables. But for each area of mental health that I want to explore, I feel like I need a strategy. Now, the strategy that I've been using with my clients, which is going down extremely well, although I don't think it would be as impactful here with what I'm doing for myself. The strategy I'm using with my clients at the moment is they give me something that they're going to work on. I ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to actually do that? I then ask them at the next time I see them, did you do it? And if they'd given me a 10 out of 10 that they were going to, it would be, well, why not? You were very confident. And the other question I ask them is, what's going to get in the way of this? Because sometimes there's legit practicalities that we need to strategize around as well. So what are you going to do? What's a scale of 1 to 10 that you're actually going to do it? And what could potentially get in the way? And once we unpack those 3 things, it sets the client up for so much more success and, ease of being able to go and take action. I'm not convinced that would work for this experiment, but I still think I need a strategy. So what I'm toying with is, I've written this down. I want to have a goal. Okay, so my goal is going to be the area that I'm exploring of mental health, and then I'm going to need to learn. So let's make it stress. So I need to learn about stress. I need to learn about how I would love to know more about how cortisol impacts. So I know it's very hard to lose weight when you've got high cortisol and your body's holding on to that, but I don't know the ins and outs of how that all actually really works. So I need to learn about that. I need to learn the problems, the triggers that me and lots of women are facing, as to why we have these stressors and why we don't have the appropriate coping strategies in place. And then so I've got learn as one, then I want to take action. So what am I going to do to stress alleviate once I've identified that that's the issue and the problems that's going on there? What am I going to do about it? What actions do I take? What's going to work? What coping strategies can I put in place? And the third one I think is absolutely key. I need accountability. So I need to hold myself accountable to taking the actions, or else I'll never reach the goal of being calm. So I'm going to work on this one more. This is how we talk about peeling back the layers of the onion. So on the outside of the onion, this is like, oh, I might just look at my mental health and lose some weight. And then, wait, I'm starting to identify that I'm really stressed. Okay, but then we need to peel that back further and say, what's the triggers to the stress? What's leading to the stress? What are you going to do about it? What more is going on that you're actually just not calm and not able to reach your calm? The problem is, when I'm not calm, everybody suffers, because to crack it at one of my family members. I'm more likely to crash and burn on the couch, or just be reaching for advice of choice, not fueling myself properly, not setting myself up for the day properly, and then overeating at the next time I get to eat, because it's that frantic trying to calm yourself down eating that's going on. Few things that I've tried to do to kind of bring in some calm and take some time for myself this week. I went to the Van Gogh exhibition that's in the city at the moment, and that was really lovely and really actually very calming, quite emotive. I found it to be quite emotive. I've actually seen loads of his work before, artwork, but not so much of his written word, and his, the way he writes was really powerful. So that was really nice, and that was something that I did. But I know that I need to do more. And I know that when we talk about like self-care strategies and coping strategies and things that make us feel good, it's great if you have a solid 2 hours in the middle of your day and the money to go to an exhibition. That's not realistic every single day. That's not realistic when I'm putting my kids to bed at 9 o'clock at night and they haven't gone to sleep for 2 hours and I'm starting to get really stressed. I need more practical on the go tools. So this is what I'm really going to be exploring, learning about, and then discovering how to take that action. And then how do I keep myself accountable to that? So, to summarize, while doing my reflecting this week, this is what I've identified. I have successfully stuck to my non negotiables. I'm very proud of myself for that. I have identified that I have an issue with stress. Therefore, my goal now is to work on calm. So, if I have a goal, then my strategy is I need to learn about it, I need to action it, and I need to have accountability. So let's see what next week brings when I start investigating and unpacking all of that. Follow my journey.